Yes, hello again to all you fragrance aficionados out there, and welcome back to another instalment of Mags Frags. Today I'm taking a look at 4 luxury niche fragrances that I've described in the title of the video as being next level. And the reason for this is because these aren't your everyday scents found on the crowded shelves of department stores. And that includes the big luxury department stores, by the way. No. These are the hidden gems of the fragrance world, crafted by visionary perfumers in the most prestigious but lesser known boutiques across the globe. Unless you're pretty deep into your fragrance journey, you might not have come across any of these brands before, but honestly, each one of these is a work of art in its own right that just tells its own unique and exclusive story. There are some so-called niche brands out there these days that are now as popular as your designer brands, so you can drop £250 on a scent that you'll smell on 10 other people when you're on a night out, which doesn't feel that niche to me. So if you're on the lookout for something truly exclusive that'll really make you stand out from the crowd, then these 4 could be a great place to start. And I just want to give a quick shout out to a mate of mine called Carl, who has a way more sophisticated collection than mine and has kindly let me borrow all 4 of these today to try out and just to give my thoughts. And so thanks, Carl, and hopefully one day I can get you on the channel and you can pass on some of your vast fragrance knowledge and wisdom. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Welcome to Mags Frags. Okay, so the first one today goes by the name of Nabate, and this one is from Astrophil and Stella. This was launched in 2021 and comes in an X-ray de Parfum concentration. It's classed as a unisex fragrance, but in my opinion it gives off more of a masculine vibe to me personally. It's an intricate, multi-layered, complex scent that has lots of light and shade in terms of fragrance notes, so different people may pick up on different accords in this one. It opens up with a vibrant burst of sea salt, watery notes, cardamom and saffron, creating an invigorating and slightly salty aquatic opening. But it also has this intoxicating petrol-like chemical aroma which instantly grabs your attention, and it's a smell that I pretty much guarantee that you won't have come across before. This is softened by the musky sweetness of ambrette and the warmth of the rum and the divana, leading to a heart of floral and woody notes. The middle notes of iris and Moroccan rose add a powdery, delicate floral touch balanced by the freshness of those opening notes, and also with a touch of woody cedar in there too. The fragrance then evolves into a deep, rich base where leather, oud, labdanum, patchouli and vetiver provide a rich, earthy depth with also some slight animalic touches. Finally, there's the sweetness of vanilla and amber, which just rounds everything out, but it never becomes too sweet. It really does take you on a sensory journey, and when you see the note breakdown, you're going to wonder how all these conflicting notes can possibly work together in one blend, but it actually smells really addictive, and I find myself constantly going in for sniff after sniff. It's a very sophisticated scent that I can imagine being maybe slightly polarising, because it does give off a very pungent, in-your-face aroma that's quite relentless at times, if I'm honest. It doesn't stop projecting for hours, so the performance is really decent, and as well as being a bit of a room filler, the people around you definitely won't fail to catch constant wafts of it. So I'd say it's better suited to like a night out situation rather than one to wear as a daytime scent, because it could definitely easily become a little bit overbearing and cloying if you were to wear it in like a small office, etc. It's also a more mature smelling scent in my opinion that's going to suit guys over the age of 30. In terms of price, this comes in at around about £150 for a 50ml bottle size like this one, which is fairly pricey, but in my opinion it's worth every penny for such a unique and well crafted fragrance. But like I say, this may not be for the faint-hearted or newbie fragrance enthusiasts. It is rich and full-bodied with that prominent gasoline accord, so I'd recommend just trying to get hold of a sample of it rather than going ahead and blind buying it, because it is fairly challenging if you're not used to your more darker, resinous niche perfumery. But this for me is a perfect signature scent for a confident guy that wants to make a very bold statement. Okay, so next up is one from a fairly new luxury fragrance brand called Asman Perfumes, who were founded in Dubai in 2021. Asman, meaning hours or moments in Arabic, is reimagining oud-based fragrances using rare and almost forgotten ingredients of the highest quality from all around the world with a touch of French expertise thrown in. The one that I have for you today is called Killer Vavoom, which was created by master perfumer Miguel Matos in 2022. It's classed as an amber floral fragrance for men and women, and it comes in an eau de parfum concentration. It's available on the Asman website, priced at $175 which is around about £140 for a 50ml bottle size. The top notes in this are chocolate, plum and bergamot. In the heart we've got iris, osmanthus, ambrette, rose and jasmine. And the base notes in this are leather, amber, vanilla, oak moss, musk and patchouli. Okay, so this one opens up dark, sweet and chocolatey. It's just really delicious smelling, with the cacao taking centre stage, but blending with the sweet fruitiness of the plum notes. And it's like walking up to a chocolate fountain, but instead of placing a strawberry underneath it, you place a dark red plum under it instead. The bergamot adds a touch of zingy sparkle, and it starts out as an indulgent gourmand fragrance. And from my first initial impression, I kind of felt that it lent a touch feminine in the opening. It's a bit like layering Montal's Chocolate Greedy with Initio's Side Effect, and I've got to say that the opening is a chocolate lover's dream. As it dries down and transitions through into the heart of the scent, you're greeted by a selection of soft powdery florals which had a smooth velvety texture to the kind of fruity chocolate accord in the opening. Some people have noticed a waxy synthetic accord, but that's not something I've picked up on personally, although I have only had a limited experience with it. But after the first hour or so, this transforms into something quite different. It becomes more leathery and musky, but you'll also notice a much more dry earthiness start to make its way through from the oak moss and the patchouli. It retains some of the sweetness through the amber and the vanilla in the base, but I'd say the far dry down leans way more masculine for me, so it kind of does a complete 180 and flips from smelling slightly feminine in the opening to more earthy and manly as it develops. In terms of performance, this one doesn't project off the skin as much as the previous one that I've just spoken about, but it does enough to leave a nice delicious scent trail, and it lasts a good 7 or 8 hours before you'll stop being able to detect it. Again, this is a very grown-up fragrance, and even though it has a playful chocolatey and fruity combo up top, it's a very rich scent with a definite dark, rich Middle Eastern vibe about it. It's a very sexy smelling aroma that would be great for a date night, or if you're just going to like a stylish, dimly lit wine bar. There's parts of this that reminds me a little bit of some other fragrances that I own, like Jazz Club by Maison Margiela, and like I mentioned before, Side Effect by Initio Parfums. But it's only like a fleeting passing nod, and this wouldn't be a redundant purchase if you owned either of those two, but I would kind of just place it in a similar ballpark. I think this is an absolute stunner, and I'll probably end up picking up a full bottle for myself just to add to my own collection, so definitely one for you to try out for yourselves. Okay, so the third one today is again very unique and very different to anything that I've either got in my collection or even smelled before, and this is called Odiac No. 6 by French boutique Sous le Manteau. And I love this matte resin finish on the outside of the bottle, which adds a really cool soft touch feel to it when you're handling it. But this is an amber spicy fragrance for men and women which came out in 2021, and the nose behind this one is master perfumer Nathalie Feisthauer. The top notes in this are bergamot, ginger and geranium. In the heart we've got elemi resin, cascarilla bark, liatris flower, never known that one, never come across that before, and we've also got mate. In the base we've got hay, tonka beans, tobacco and also vetiver in there. Yeah, so this opens up very bright and uplifting with a vibrant blast of bergamot, followed by a large dose of realistic smelling ginger, which brings some instant spicy warmth. The ginger, in my opinion, is the star of the show and sticks around from the very first spray right the way through the whole lifespan of the scent. This is beautifully intertwined with geranium, which adds a mild sweet and floral accent, just balancing out that initial zestiness with its rosy green nuances. As it dries down and evolves, it kind of delves into a rich and aromatic heart where elemi resin, the cascarilla bark, introduce a balsamic character with hints of ambery sweetness and also some fragrant woodiness. The inclusion of the liatris flower brings a unique floral aspect with a slightly herbaceous tone, and finally the mate note adds an earthy, slightly bitter greenness, bridging the gap between the top and base notes with its tea-like freshness. For the most part, I'd say that this is a fragrance that would work well as a spring and summer scent, albeit with a much more robust and interesting character than your usual woody citrus aromatics. However, the base notes of hay, tonka beans, tobacco and vetiver provide longevity and depth, so it'd be also fine to wear in the cooler months of the year too. This for me has more of a casual daytime feel about it though, and it's one I'd be more likely to wear as a stylish work scent rather than one I'd reach for a night out to go out in the evenings. The performance is decent enough and will get you through a full day without having to reapply it, and it's got a decent projection for an hour or two, and then it kind of tones itself down into like a mild to moderate projection for the remaining hours. It's quite a calming, easygoing scent that won't offend anybody, but it has enough character just to get you noticed. Again, this is a very, very unique smelling scent, and if you enjoy like ginger or spicy fragrances, then I think this is a real beauty. And the final one today is from Just Box, an Italian fragrance house that create fragrances based on influential genres of music or musicians, hence the cooler vinyl record detailing on the cap. This particular one is called Black Powder, which pays tribute to the late Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. It captures the essence of the 90s grunge movement with a rebellious, smoky, leathery character, and was created by Julien Rescrinet. It comes in an eau de parfum concentration, and this 75ml bottle is priced at €190, so roughly around the £162 mark. The top notes in this are blackcurrant, crispy apple and pimento. In the heart we've got suede, tobacco leaves and frankincense, and the base notes in this are sandalwood, tonka beans and patchouli. Yeah, so as you'd expect, this is a complex, dark and edgy fragrance that's certainly not for the faint-hearted, and not one that I'd ever describe as being mass appealing. It does actually start out quite vibrant though, with the combination of tart blackcurrant, the crunchy apple note and also the spicy pimento, producing a lively introduction. But it's not long before it begins to reveal the darker facets of its character over time, a little bit like the layers of Cobain's own persona. This middle layer is where the fragrance truly begins to reveal its narrative. The suede note is smooth and luxurious and conjures up images of Cobain's often dishevelled yet undeniably charismatic presence. The tobacco leaves add a raw, unrefined edge, which is a reminder of the gritty reality of life on the road and the smoky venues of Nirvana's early days. Frankincense, with its mystical ancient aroma, introduces a spiritual depth, reflecting the soul searching that defined much of Cobain's lyrics and also his public persona. And for the fragrance's final act, it settles into a rich dark base of sandalwood, tonka beans and patchouli. The sandalwood provides a creamy woody backdrop, grounding the fragrance with its solid earthy presence. Tonka beans add a touch of sweetness, and the patchouli, with its kind of deep musky earthiness, just wraps the fragrance in a cloak of mystery and depth, leaving a really lasting impression that's both like haunting and profound. Yeah, this is a fragrance that on its own could be easy to dislike, but once you're aware of its story and the homage it pays to this musical legend, then it instantly all starts to kind of make sense. It really is a true rock star fragrance that's probably a little bit too dark and gritty for my own personal taste, but if you're a leather-clad rocker, I couldn't recommend a better scent than this little masterpiece. Okay, so once again, that's about it for today's little review on these monster fragrances. And once again, a big thank you to Carl for letting me road test these absolute bangers this week. But it's back to reality in the next episode, and it's time for my annual top 20 perfume parlour recommendations for 2024. So to all of you that have been waiting patiently, or even those who have been nagging me down in the comments section, it's finally done and it'll be uploaded in the next couple of days. So as always, thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye bye for now.